The following program contains sexual content. Viewer discretion advised. Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, a plotter accused.
I believe my dad sexually abused my sisters.
I never did those things.
A mother questioned.
Did you know he was doing what they say he was doing?
And everyone...
You know what you did. If you love me, you just admit it.
Pointing the finger.
You are so sick. You are such a liar. Did you kiss me and stick your tongue in my mouth?
No, I did not.
You're calling me... Yes or no? Are you calling me a liar?
I'm telling you I didn't do that.
Yes or no? Are you calling me a liar?
If you're saying I did that, then yes.
Steve did take a polygraph test, and the results were... Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Yesterday, we met three sisters who say their lives have been destroyed by their former stepfather, Steve. They say he sexually abused them during their childhood. He was convicted, but has always denied any wrongdoing. Now, he wrote me to clear his name. And so for the first time in a decade, he and his accusers came face to face. Here's what has happened so far.
My mother's ex-husband, Steve, was a sick, abusive narcissist.
When Steve came into our lives, the inappropriate touching started shortly after.
It would happen at night when we were watching TV and nobody else was around. Steve would start at my feet, rubbing it, and he would start working his way up my leg towards my private part.
Steve would use tickling as a game, as an excuse to touch us. And I remember, kicking him and running out of the house. Steve was arrested around May of 2000. Steve took a plea deal. He acknowledged the state had enough evidence to convict him, but he was not admitting guilt. Steve didn't receive any prison time. I want him to take responsibility for what he did.
How long has it been since y'all have all been in proximity to one another?
I saw him about a year ago.
Well, Jessica and Amber's younger sister, Brittany, says she, too, was molested by Steve.
The only thing about Brittany is that for almost all the time I was there, she vied for my love.
You hear yourself? God, I was a child.
I never have done anything to you, ever.
Oh, yeah? Really? You did not beat me? You did not say disgusting things to me? You did not tickle me? You did not press your into...
No, I did never.
Please.
I've never molested anybody. I have evidence that these women have lied to put me in jail. There were 6 children in the house. We would watch television together, horseplay together. There were never one-on-one sessions where it was just me and them alone. All of the accusations from Jessica and Amber were derived from their mother. They need to tell the truth.
And why did you lie?
I didn't lie.
I have your paperwork where you lied.
Good for you. I didn't
lie. You made things up.
No, I didn't.
I don't know whether you've done any, all, or part of the things that you're accused of doing, but you have the worst judgment of anybody I can imagine.
You have convinced yourself that you are innocent. I truly do believe that. You're a piece of crap.
Now, after 10 years, the police got involved, and in 2001, Steve was convicted of child abuse and had to register as a sex offender. Melanie was convicted of child endangerment because authorities say she knew what was going on and did nothing. Take a look.
I didn't feel like I could protect my daughters. I didn't know Steve sexually molested them.
I went to my mom after the first time it happened to me. I remember her yelling at me that she was going to bring Steve out and I needed to tell Steve what I told her.
Steve denied that he had done anything to Jessica and said that she was simply misinterpreting what he had done. I believe Steve because he joined the church. He said he wouldn't do anything like that, and he actually called my daughter an evil seed.
When I realized that my mom wasn't going to believe me, that made me feel like, what am I going to do? So I just kind of went along with it.
When Amber was 16, she told me that Steve had pinned her down and was trying to kiss her.
Every time I would tell my mom about the abuse, she would just deny it. My mom would say stuff like, "You're just trying to rip my marriage apart, that you're trying to ruin an innocent man's life." My mom made me feel really guilty.
The court said I had intentionally and knowingly allowed my children to have sexual contact with Steve. I don't believe that I deserve the charge of child endangerment because I did not allow my kids to do anything like that. I had no idea. I do blame Steve for what happened.
Steve says he's the victim of a scorned woman and her brainwashed daughters, and he also believes he is not the first man they accused. Take a look.
Melanie has been falsely accusing men since the mid-'70s. In 1977, Melanie accused a church peer of sexual misconduct, and it was handled inside the church. In 1984, Melanie was having an affair with this gentleman. He wanted to break it off, so she first cried rape to get herself off of that. And then when he really finally broke it off, she planted her daughter, Jessica, into his life and had her accuse him of sexual misconduct. He was arrested and taken to trial and was acquitted. Then in 1990, Melanie said a family friend had sexually molested Amber. The police were going to move forward with charges. In December of 1990, called Melanie, and she told him that it never happened, and it was horseplay. My case was the fourth time that Melanie has claimed some type of sexual misconduct. Melanie is a pathological liar.
Okay, Melanie, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
You were found guilty of child endangerment.
Yes.
Because the finding was that you did not protect your daughters.
Yes.
From this man molesting them. Mm-hmm. Did you know that he was doing what they say he was doing?
What happened is when Jessica was 4 years old, she got molested by a man. And she received counseling for a year and a half, and when she was done, they said she may misinterpret hugs and different things from people because she's sensitive in that area. He knew that. He's a predator.
According to Steve, he says that at 15, you accuse a church peer of sexual assault.
No, I didn't accuse him. It was my boyfriend.
I mean, what you said started an allegation.
Yeah, I told my boyfriend, though. I didn't tell anybody
else.
And
then were you having an affair, and after your lover terminated the affair, you charged him with child molestation against Jessica?
That is not true. You are so evil.
I'm the one that went and told my mom what happened to me.
And who made the allegation?
Jessica then would have made the allegation to me, and I turned it over to CPS.
All of a sudden, like a year and a half later, we were in court.
Steve's point is you started this in action, and then the individual was acquitted. So that's the second time. Then 7-year-old Amber, Melanie says that your friend's husband sexually assaulted Amber, and you called the police. Amber changes her story, saying, well, it was just horseplay, and then the charges were dropped.
That's not even true.
What is true?
I spent the night at my friend's house, and I came home and told my mom and Steve that I woke up and my friend's dad was on the sofa couch sleeping next to me. I never said he touched me. I never said anything bad happened. Then Steve and my mom made a big flipping deal about it and called the cops, and they had me go down and do a rape kit because there was some blood on my panties or something like that. I never said he did anything to me.
That's my point. Not that you said anything, but that you did.
I called CPS. When Jessica got molested, when she was a young little girl, I knew I couldn't ignore it. I got charged. They said I intentionally and knowingly allowed my children to have sexual contact with him.
Okay.
I got charged. I'm pregnant with my 6th child, signing in for probation. I've never even had a traffic ticket. And this guy is as narcissistic as he gets.
But you did start the ball rolling.
We both did, huh?
You called the police.
When Amber was 12, another sexual assault by a family member, and then Amber changed her story to say it was blackmail for not helping with housework and there were no charges.
I don't know anything about that.
I've got the police report here for the 7-year-old, and I've got the 12-year-old claiming that a family member had assaulted you. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. That's what you call a pattern. That's 5 of them, including you at the end. You're the 5th. Yes, well, 5th and 6th.
I remember memories about Steve, but it was so foggy still. So I was like, you know what? I don't have vivid memories. I do now, but I didn't back then.
And later...
Look at me. Call me a liar.
Jamie, oh my goodness. I can't believe you're saying that.
Did you kiss me and stick your tongue in my mouth?
No, I did not.
Why can't you just not be a liar?
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, a non-traditional mom.
So I explained to my daughter that I was a professional dominatrix.
A frustrated dad.
You send your daughter to live with her. Were you just throwing your hands up?
Is their teen daughter...
You're at a concert with your daughter smoking dope that she got from you.
Growing up way too fast.
I started having sex about a year ago.
She's 14. You're okay with her being sexually active?
She was looking at things when she was 11.
Well, you showed them to her.
I did not show them to her.
She said she got it on your phone.
You undermine me constantly.
I have never undermined you.
You undermine me. You're allowing her to do whatever the hell she wants.
That's tomorrow.
My mother absolutely did not brainwash us and make us say that Steve molested us.
She never even did anything when we came to her to tell her it was happening. She actually told me I was trying to steal her man. Her whole life, she's done nothing but try to please her man. Steve had special cereal. He had special soda. We had to drink the powdered milk while he got the regular milk from the store. That's how the level it went to. My mom catered to the men in her life.
My mom wanted to stay with Steve. She didn't believe us at all.
Jessica, Amber, and Brittany say their nightmare began 27 years ago when their mother, Melanie, married Steve. Now, behind closed doors, the sisters say Steve was sexually molesting them. He says that he has been falsely accused, has been falsely convicted, and has the evidence to prove it. Now, in Amber's court testimony regarding past allegations, you said, my sister Jessica, she was too young to actually make allegations, but I guess my biological father's friend had done something to her at a really young age, and my sister Brittany had made allegations about some other boy, or originally we thought she was saying Steve, and then ended up telling us later that it was some boy in middle school.
See, that
just reading from the court documents.
That I have no idea. I do remember talking to her about Steve, but I don't know about that part. Honestly, as a child, we all probably said a lot of stuff that was like a cry for help in so many ways because we were raised in such an abusive, dysfunctional environment. So I remember going to the hospital with her and having that feeling and slight little thoughts about, not thoughts, memories about Steve. And that was where I mentioned it, but it was so foggy still that's why I didn't press it further, because I was like, you know what, I don't have vivid memories. I do now, but I didn't back then.
Now, regarding Steve being naked, in an email from Amber on 5/23/2000, Steve noted she indicated that Steve walked into the room naked. Quote, I remember him walking into the room naked, and I don't remember anything else. 2 months later in a police report, Steve noted again that Amber remembered Steve coming in her room naked, but then Steve noted a month later Amber denied seeing Steve completely naked, but had seen his privates while wearing small, tight shorts. So the point is that you said naked, naked, not naked, and you see that as inconsistency.
Yes, sir.
Correct? What do you remember?
I remember one night him coming into the room, and I may have said I don't know if he was naked. I don't really remember what happened. Like I said, some things are very, very vivid, and other things are kind of foggy. And I remember him coming in the room, and then I don't really remember what happened. And later, my brother wrote in a journal, he remembers Steve coming into our room, my room, and getting me and taking me somewhere.
We understand those are powerful words, because you said twice that he came in naked, and then in a police report said, well, he wasn't naked, he had on tight shorts and exposed himself. And
there's many different throughout the years of things that he did.
Well, but these were all talking about the same thing. And you're a child. I get it, but you understand to a finder of fact, that's important. Somebody walking in naked versus having shorts on is a distinct difference. That's your point.
She was 16 when she made that statement.
That's your point.
Yes, sir.
Naked, naked, not naked.
Yes,
it's
sir.
either naked or you're not. Which was it? Do you remember?
Like I said, I don't remember specifically. I just remember the image of him coming in the room when it was dark, and I probably said, I think he was naked.
Because in fairness, I'm covering your points here. You're saying a pattern of false allegations. I've covered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 with you. Inconsistencies in the police reports. First, they're thinking they're talking about you. It turns out to be some boy at school. Then we get into whether you're coming in the room naked or not. Those are inconsistencies, no doubt about it. That's what you're pointing to.
Yes, sir.
Among other things.
Among other things.
Coming up, Steve hasn't seen the daughter he had with Melanie in 3 years. What does she think about her half-sister's accusations towards her father? Well, I'm going to ask her when we come back.
I remember being little and watching my dad tickle my sister Amber. He would tickle around her chest, and he called it the booby tickle. I believe my dad sexually abused my sisters. Bottom line is, I just want my dad to admit all the things he's done to us.
And later,
somebody in this group was furnishing Mom with her drugs.
And you were molesting my children. How dare you say that, you sick man!
Melanie had convinced my daughter Jamie that I was a monster since she was 10 years old. They wouldn't let me see her. 10 years later. It was 5:30 in the morning. I got a call. It was Jamie. Wow. And she said, I know you didn't do it, Dad. And she wanted me back in her life. And I actually got to fly to Ohio and give her away at her wedding. That was pretty good. I got her back. We're really close.
Well, Jamie is Steve and Melanie's biological daughter, and she says it's very hard for her to be in the middle of her father and sisters. She went 14 years without speaking to her dad. So how does she feel about all of this now? Take a look.
I believe my dad sexually abused my sisters. I remember being little and watching my dad tickle my sister Amber. He would tickle around her chest, and he called it the booby tickle. When I was 8 years old, I went to give my dad a kiss, and he stuck his tongue in my mouth. I didn't even know what a French kiss was or anything, you know, so when he did that, I was just kind of like, what was that? It kind of makes my skin crawl when I remember it. By the time I was 10 years old, I stopped speaking to my father. When I was around 21 years old, my father contacted me, and I emailed him back. I told him he was sick for what he did to my sisters, and I brought up the kiss situation with me. And he acknowledged it happened, but he twisted it. His exact words were, "Your memory is quite clouded, child. You did that to me, and I even scolded you for it." I've always felt like he was guilty, but when I was 24 years old, I was getting married, and my mother told me she wasn't coming. I decided to ask my dad to come because it was important to me to have a parent there. It was kind of a dream of mine to have my dad walking down the aisle. My relationship with my dad is pretty complicated. On one hand, he is my flesh and blood. He's my dad. And the other hand, he's a convicted child molester. Bottom line is, I just want my dad to admit all the things he's done to us.
Jamie, thank you for being here. You've been listening to everything in the show so far?
Yeah.
Let me give you first an opportunity to react to anything you've seen or heard.
First of all, I never called you and said I thought that I didn't think you didn't do it. That's a lie.
You told me...
No, I didn't.
Palm reader told
Stop.
you that.
You know what you did. If you love me, you just freaking admit it. Why you gotta lie to me? You kissed me. You did.
Jamie,
no.
I told...
Do not call me a liar.
No. Look at me. Call me a liar.
You know
I dare you to call me a liar.
Did you tell me that you know I didn't do it on the telephone?
No, I did not. You're
Jamie,
a liar.
leave.
You call me a liar again. I swear to God. I'm not a liar. You are.
You told me you know I didn't do it.
Not.
You were told I did not do it. That's when you called me. Jamie, oh my goodness. I can't believe you're saying this.
Whatever. Did you kiss me and stick your tongue in my mouth?
I did not.
You're calling me, yes or no, are you calling me a liar?
I'm telling you I didn't do that.
Yes or no, are you calling me a liar?
If you're saying I did that, then yes.
So I'm a liar. Thank you.
Did you tell me that?
No, I didn't. I told you.
That's a lie too. You told me on the telephone that you were talking to a fortune teller and they told you that never happened. And that's why you decided to contact me. You called me at 5:30 in the morning when I was married to the...
I never said that.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
You broke me. You did.
I loved you.
Broke me.
You were the apple of my eye.
I know.
You were as a child.
You were horrible to my sisters.
They were horrible all to each other. Everybody.
Yeah,
that woman right over there was terrible to you guys.
Do not talk about my mom right now. It's not about that.
Okay.
Why can't you just not be a liar?
What am I lying about?
It's okay to just say it.
What am I lying about?
Something's wrong with you, and it's okay to need help sometimes.
I'm not saying I was a perfect father, but I never did those things
yes, you did.
that they're saying I did.
So wait,
how could you guys not have never seen it with a house full of children?
Let me speak. You've been out here a lot longer than I have. It's my turn.
All right.
If you can stick your tongue in your 8-year-old daughter's mouth when she kisses you, how can you not molest your stepdaughters? I'm your flesh and blood. That's freaking nasty.
No, I would never do that to you.
No, I don't know it because you did do it.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
Okay, I'm done.
Be done, because you know I'm right.
No.
I'm sure it's hard to admit that you got problems.
Wow. Are you going to change your story now?
You are such a liar. You were laughing that she soiled herself because you're sick like that.
And later, Steve did take a polygraph. There were 4 questions on this test, and the results were...
For not telling the truth.
I am telling the truth. You beat the crap out of all of us, not me as much.
Crap.
I got spanked.
Once.
You treated me 1,000 times better than them. You made us line up one time when I was 5, so I remember this. Beating the crap out of Jessica, she crawled underneath that picnic table that you built. And you grabbed her by her ankles and drug. We had to line up and watch. If we didn't, don't look at me like that. You know it's true.
No, she beat the children. She never did it. Really? She never got in cat fights. That I had to separate them.
Why do you keep talking about her?
Because she is the one that did it.
I'm not.
I didn't. I never beat anybody.
Steve. Let's talk to me for a minute. You've acknowledged in talking to us that you were militaristic in the home, that you were too harsh with the children.
Yes, sir.
You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people here that are saying that you did what you told us you did. Are you going to change your story now? You were very candid with us.
I didn't pull people from underneath benches beating them.
You are such a liar.
You did, Stephen.
It's just ridiculous. We're just sitting up here listening to him just spew lies.
Steve, I'm telling you the truth. I remember it happening.
And then you were laughing that she soiled herself because you're sick like that. And now you want to come up here and pretend that you didn't do those things. That's cool.
Would you agree that you had a dysfunctional role in this family?
I believe the whole entire house is dysfunctional.
Yeah, I know, and I'll go down the line here in a minute. I'm just asking you. I'll ask them in a minute because I think this whole thing is hugely dysfunctional. I'm just asking you.
Yeah, all the way to the point to where I would come home from work, and if her door was shut in her bedroom, everybody in the household knew, do not
do not, upon pain of death, even knock on her door. Do not answer the door. If the doorbell rings, do not answer. If the telephone rings, do not answer. So I come home from work, I'd see that door shut. I'd come out and play Chutes and Ladders with the kids, and I'd play games until she had her fill in the bedroom by herself, whatever Mom was doing. And somebody in this group was furnishing Mom with her drugs. Her pills and her marijuana while she was a member of the church, and everybody knows who it was.
And you were molesting my children when we got married in the Mormon temple. How dare you say that, you sick man? You are so sick.
Yep.
Yes, you are. Thank you to admit it.
You know what? We all understand that my mom had some problems in the past that she's been working on. And that was exactly why you were able to marry her in the first place, was because you saw that you could do that to her and that she would be your next victim. And it would be so easy because...
No, I saw it because I had a son that needed a mom, and her kids were always, hair was combed perfect and looked good, and I needed a mother for my son, and that's how we became the Brady Bunch.
Let me ask a couple of questions on Steve's behalf, because you're the worst advocate for yourself, I believe, I've ever seen. One of the reasons that he is upset, and I think anyone would be, is he goes to trial and gets a sentence and a registered sex offender for life, and sometime thereafter you recant your testimony. So I got to tell you, if I've been down there and been convicted, sentenced, and put on the registry or whatever the crime, and then the victim recants and says, it didn't happen, I lied, it didn't happen. I think I would be pretty upset about that. And you did recant.
Yes, I did.
Correct?
Yep.
You said, I believe that Steve, in fact, never sexually abused me or my sister, Amber.
I don't remember everything that I said. But
Well,
yes,
I have it right here.
Yeah.
It's a transcript from the court testimony. That our mother, beginning at a young age, routinely and regularly implanted in my siblings and I an unfounded belief that we were victims of sexual abuse. We made the accusations under pressure from our mother to support her in the divorce.
And you got to remember, Steve, how often did you coach me into saying stuff about the video, getting together, your mom was filming me? Yes, you did. I am not making this up. I have to still be a part of your family. They found out that I'm on the show. They're harassing my daughters.
Yep.
She's sending me screenshots of why they have to keep my kids involved in this. It's like, gotta stop.
Your kids have nothing to do with this.
Oh, they do.
I've never spoken to your children. I stay
constantly.
So what has Steve admitted to doing? I've talked about the things that he says exonerate him, that call into question his convictions here. We're going to talk about what he admits to next. Plus, Jamie asked her father to take a polygraph exam. We're going to have those results in just a few minutes. certain things you don't do, but even when they're young, there's still certain places you don't go. But as the person gets older, you still have tickle fights and stuff. That's something you said to the police. And when you were talking to our producer, you said, I come from a tickle monster family style of fun, pre-computer era. So oftentimes it was 6-on-1, and on more than one occasion, people were touched, kicked, or poked inadvertently. So you're saying there may have been contact even in an inappropriate area, but inadvertently.
Even with me, correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Steve did take a polygraph. He took a polygraph test, and I have the results in this envelope. I haven't looked at it, but you don't want to miss it. I think I know what it says, and I think I know why, but we'll find out in just a minute.
I'm going to do a polygraph test with Steve. Today is his chance to clear the record. Today I'm going to do a polygraph test with Steve. He was deemed a registered sex offender, and today is his chance to clear the record if he passes this test.
Well, Jamie wanted Steve to take another polygraph exam, so we reached out to Jack Tremarco. In my opinion, he is the top polygraph examiner on the globe. He's a former FBI special agent and FBI polygraph examiner. Now, Jack has conducted over 3,500 polygraph examinations. Let me ask you, you met Jack Tremarco. Were you comfortable with him?
Yes, sir, I was.
Did you feel like you were treated fairly by him?
I was.
Were you hurried in any way? Were you pressured by him in any fashion, or did he take his time with you and explain everything?
He took his time, yeah, it was about 3 hours.
So you have no complaints about the test?
I do not.
Okay. Jack, was there anything that you detected that caused you to question the results of this test?
No, it was an average test. Steve was a cooperative person.
All right, and you didn't detect any countermeasures?
No countermeasures.
Attempts to beat the test in any way?
No.
There were 4 questions on this test. Question 1, did you ever touch Amber for a sexual reason? And your answer was?
No.
Did you ever touch Amber for a sexual reason when she was a child?
No.
Did you ever touch Jessica for a sexual reason?
No.
Did you ever touch Jessica for a sexual reason when she was a child?
No.
And the results were non-deceptive, that you were telling the truth.
I knew it. This whole thing just felt like a witch hunt from the beginning. It was terrible. To hear these allegations, it's sad.
What do you think about these results?
I don't care what it says. I know what he did to me, and I'm not making it up.
Understand. What do you think?
I think he believes his lies so much that he's able to deceive the test.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to explain. I said before I looked in here that I felt like I knew what this was going to say, and that I felt like I know why. And when we come back, I'm going to explain exactly what I meant, and I think it's going to make a lot of sense to everybody. We'll be right back. You know, I said before I opened that envelope that I felt like I knew what it was going to say and that I knew why. I thought you were going to pass this test. This test measures what you perceive to be the truth. Correct, Jack?
Exactly right.
I said this very early on in our conversation, if you'll think back. I said, if you believe he really believes what he's saying, why would you be upset with him? Because you can't be mad at somebody for believing what they believe, if they believe it. And I said, why would you be upset with her if she believes what she believes? That doesn't mean that that's not distorted in some way. And I have no doubt that alcohol has played a huge part in distorting your recollections, your inhibitions, your behaviors. Do I think that you're lying? Absolutely not. The fact that you recanted doesn't make me believe that you're lying. Do I think that you're lying? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And absolutely not. I don't think anybody's lying here. I believe that this is a highly dysfunctional situation. I believe that your respect of boundaries in a family full of women is really poor. You guys are hurt and you need to heal. And I want to help you to do that. The first thing I want to do is I've been talking to Miles Adcox at Onsite. They put together really custom, intense therapeutic workshops for people that have suffered trauma and have lost their way and emotionally are really disoriented. And I've made arrangements to start sending you guys down there 2 or 3 at a time and let you be there however long you need to be there to hit the reset button and find your bearings here and realize your worth and your value. And that's where I want to start, and then I want to follow it up and back it up with some really strong individual counseling and life coaching to get you back where you need to be. Okay, will you accept this help? Okay. All right, we've got to stop. I do want to thank all of my guests today. Let me tell you something. We deal with real people and real stories here. And when you deal with real people and real stories, they're not always black and white. It's not always one way or the other. But that's okay. We work to criteria. We're going to get this right. We're going to get this family healthy. A special thanks to Jack Tremarco. He is the best of the best. And to Miles Adcox and his great team at Onsite. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. Tell us what you think on Facebook and Twitter as well. Thanks for being here. Really